Perhaps the biggest obstacle to our revolutionary action against white supremacy is our attachment to white supremacy slave culture. And the degree to which we are attached to this slave culture is the degree to which we are willing to live a lifestyle that's adversarial to white supremacy. This attachment is either a direct attachment or an indirect attachment. So you have to ask yourself, what is the degree to which I am attached to white supremacy slave culture? Let's say that you are detached from the liquor stores. You are personally detached from the fast food restaurants because you understand the damage that is done to our communities and continues to do. Let's say you're detached from these things. But let's say in your indirect attachment to these things, you're going to burn down the liquor store. You're going to burn down Murder King. You're going to burn down killing families and children. But you're not going to burn down Crackdonos. Why? Your love for your little baby who just got to have a Happy Meal from McDonald's, you see how their faces light up when they go get their Happy Meal from McDonald's. You just can't bring yourself to lump McDonald's in with the rest of the poisons that are being fed to our people. So you get rid of the rest of the poisons, but you keep this poison because your loved one is attached to this particular poison, to this particular aspect of white supremacy slave culture. In that way, you are indirectly attached to white supremacy slave culture. The black revolutionary that wants to see black people free, wants to get rid of all of white supremacy slave cultural practices. You want to get rid of all the institutions of white supremacy slave culture. You want to get rid of the schools, the Eurocentric schools. You want to get rid of all the fast food restaurants that serve poisons to our people. You want to get rid of all the liquor stores. You want to get rid of all the religious institutions that teach our babies to worship the white man and other people other than themselves.
We got people that really want the white man's world. They reformists. They want the white man's shit. I want it like he got it, and it ain't coming fast enough. I'm mad. My hustle is not getting me to him quick enough. So I'm a little mad, but I'm still getting my hustle working a little bit. So I'm not too mad, because my hustle is, I got a little something. But I ain't, I'm just mad that I ain't got it like he got it. But I love the white man. I love how his setup. I want a little piece of that. He won't give me a little piece of that. I'm going to talk a little shit. The revolutionary don't even want none of his shit. Don't even want it. The revolutionary want to be equal, like, or have what the white man have, or the pleasures of what the white man have, just as much as a cat want to have what the fuck a dog has. Ask ourselves. Are we revolutionary cats, or are we just poor kept dogs? Do you see? Many people that think they revolutionary cats are nothing but some fucking poor ass dogs. They just not as eating as much and getting the quality food that the other dogs is getting, but they want it. But since they ain't getting it, they as skinny as the cats, and hell, they even eat a little cat food. They really want to chew on some bones, though. But shit, I eat a little cat food for now. Y'all don't hear me. So the individual must search within themselves to get here. It's not rhetorical. That's why many people consider themselves to be revolutionaries and end up back into the system, because it gets better for them. and they get the type of betterness that they wanted in the system, because that's what they wanted anyway. They wasn't against that. They just fell on hard luck, and they just had a revolutionary type of a talk while they was on hard luck. They ate oatmeal because they didn't have anything else to eat. The revolutionary loves oatmeal. Every time they go without being a consumer and being caught up into the consumeristic system of capitalistic exploitation and wasting their time on the wheel of white supremacy in the muck and mire of drunkenness, they're excited. We didn't have to engage with the beast. Wow. You see the different spirit? They're happy knowing that they can live outside of this mechanical monster. That they don't have to take part in the sins and the iniquities of this super demon. Wow. They say, well, you don't like America, leave. Say, it's not the America that I don't like. It's the American that I don't like. There's nothing wrong with America. I think I like it. You got some nice places, Miami. Weather's good. You even have some good summers in Chicago. We have nothing wrong with America. Native land. Chicago, Chicoa, is called Black Island, founded by Jean-Baptiste Dussable. But see, you can go somewhere else and still be an American. You don't have to be in America to be an American. You don't hear me? You go to Africa, some of them are more American than we are. Because their whole thing is consumerism and everything that is America made of. Consumerism, Christianity, individualism. They're that. We're right here in America, and you won't find no American in us.
You hear me saying, because some of y'all will say, well, Daku, you standing there, clearly you got electricity. Clearly you got lights in the house. You talking about getting rid of white supremacy slave culture, then get rid of your lights. So who told you that technology is synonymous with white supremacy? To the white people out there, to the black white supremacists, to the Japanese, the Chinese, the Indians, the Arabs, to all of y'all who disrespect black people. You need to know that black inventors, not 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 500 years ago. Black inventors over the last 2 centuries have invented things that have made your lives comfortable all over the world. Don't disrespect the hand that feeds you. Yes, it was a slave hand that fed you, but without the slave hand, you would not be able to enjoy all these comforts. So don't tell me to get out of America. Somebody said go back home. There's no room in America for people like you, for racists like you, calling me a racist. I've told you many times before that my ancestors, many of them, are indigenous to the United States, to America, because it wasn't called the United States back then. We were indigenous to this body of land. You're going to tell me to go back home. No, you go back home, cracker. And if it wasn't a cracker that told me that, maybe it was a Negro pen that told me that, you need to open up your eyes. We are home wherever we are on the place, on the face of the planet Earth. You need to think about these things. To what degree are you attached to white supremacy slave culture?
I said, well, it's just being anti-government. That's what it is, revolutionary, being anti-government. Bullshit. Because as long as you are constantly going to be an American, in the way you are, in your greed, in your lust, in your desires, in your entertainment, and your fascination with this, as long as you're going to be that, it don't matter whether you're against the government or not. You are it. The thing that you are against is yourself. And when you change yourself, you can't help but to change it, because you show everything that it is something different. You show people that they can be different on this land, that they can have different aspirations, and that another world exists right here simultaneously, while they call them greed and gluttony and hustling and individualism and selfishness. You showing them that there's a whole other way to be right here. There's a whole other way to live. There's a whole other way to exist. That's more powerful than leaving this country. Because it's American of people that want to leave this country. That's American. They think they leaving this country to go to Africa and they'll be more African. But there's American who want to leave and be as an individual. I'm going on my own pursuit for freedom as an individual, and I'm going to Africa. That's very American. And I'm going to go over there and help all the poor people get more stuff that'll make them feel happier and better. Like stuff we consume over here. I'll make their lives better by sharing American culture. They're not going over there to share indigenous values. They're escaping off for their own individual salvation, and then they're going to share some of this individualism that they developed in this country in Africa. Wow. So what I'm saying here, is everything in this country and the consciousness of these people that is made of creates it. It's so many things that you would not even recognize what all of them are until you are against it. Some people won't think it's just a religion. I'm not a Christian, I'm something else. Some people say, well, it's just the government. I'm not the government, it's something else. And they say it's capitalism. I'm not a capitalist, I'm something else. It's so many things. So many things to be against. That is the fundamental nature that is weaved into every other part of it. That you could only see the whole diabolical reality of it when you are totally and absolutely against it. This is a fact. So many subtle things about how we operate and deal with one another like this beast deals with us and each other and themselves. That's beyond religion, government, and capitalism. It's even some other things there. In the psychology, the ethics, the customs. All that has to change. And for an individual to change, they have to change all of that about themselves. Well, that's a lot of change. To talk about we're going to change the world, and we got to change our custom, our culture, our ethics, our inspiration, what drives us, our lifestyle, our diet, the way we relate to one another. All this stuff has to change as an individual. And then we can talk about changing the world. Then we can talk about creating a new world. We got to make sure that we aren't the thing that we are against. And we don't secretly long for what we are supposed to be against.
But they want to show you these Disney World commercials. You get hooked on pop culture party society. So much so that you can't see beyond the mask of this pop culture society. It's a mask. Take the damn mask off. You addicted to a mask. They telling you and you celebrating that they're going to give you a job and raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour in the DC area by 2017. And then raise it another dollar by 2018 or 19. So you'll be making $11 an hour. When 20 years ago, you were supposed to be making $20 an hour in order to be able to just live a decent, comfortable life. But we're not trying to get you more money an hour. We're not trying to get you better slave wages. We're trying to get you off the plantation. We're trying to get rid of the plantation altogether. This has been Daku Akabo Wakatu.